Well, first of all individually, they all had very strong personalities, and they
Mm-hmm.
knew who they were, very much so. And but they were desperate looking for a way to for people to understand them and voice their feelings and what it was all about. Jamaica was on the ebb of just something was going to happen. The energy was very strong on the island in 73,
Mm-hmm.
72, and somehow getting the band together was a kind of a task, because to understand that discipline of rehearsals and all that, to actually go on stage and promote what you have to say is very important.
Mm-hmm.
So they can sing, they prove themselves, they can write songs and everything, but it's to organize them as a band like the Beatles or the Stones, and go on, and then you're going to hold your audience until the very end, pandemonium.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I try to bring to them and encourage. And but they had it anyway. You'll see in the scenes in the upstairs in 56 Hope Road, Peter and Bob, they talk about what they feel about everything, and it's all there in the film. And originally it was subtitled with the patois because it's so strong.
Mm-hmm.
that Some Jamaicans over here can't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've taken that off. I said, to hell with it. Jamaicans understand patois, and so that's that. So I have subtitled it with English for all the other nations, because the film will go everywhere.
Okay, okay. So you're saying, back to the question, as musical revolution is, each of them seem to have had their own convictions and their own way of bringing that message across.
Yes.
I get the feeling that they could not, because of the strong individual personalities of which you speak, it was very difficult for them to stay together. That may have been one of the reasons, because
Kelly,
they all had messages that they wanted to get across individually.
yes, they all had a very strong personality, all very individual, but I think that they were all trying to say the same thing, because they all defended the cause, which is, as I say, I felt that it was like a resistance movement. The Rastafarian movement is like a resistance movement, that they had taken up the baton and they were going to, do a relay race. And Bob happened to get through because, there's a lot of different aspects why Bob got through so much quicker than the other two.
Mm-hmm.
But, some-
Okay.
but the
Okay.
Wailers itself, to me, is not just Peter, Bob, and Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
It's the group that came together
Mm-hmm.
to make the music that the people outside of Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
love and want to buy the records, then they listen to the lyrics. And Bob has always said that you give them the rhythm first and hold them, and then little by little they might start listening to what you have to say.
Very interesting. Very, but that's the truth, because people dance
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
rhythm, and sometimes they listen after. You
Absolutely.
know. Okay, so the your current project, because this is what we're talking about, your current project, Making of a Legend. It is a documentary about your
Yes.
time.
It's a musical
Yeah,
documentary.
both personal and from a business standpoint, that you spent with them, the Wailers, and especially with Bob. What motivated you then? Because it tells me that you had some hindsight. What motivated you then to begin documenting his life? And why have those footages, been described as lost footages of Bob's life?
Well, the motivation to make the film was to show where the music evolved from, right? And to
Mm-hmm.
give a voice to the less fortunate,
Mm-hmm.
the ones living on the fringes of society. And so, I had met all these people, Countryman, Bongo Maki, people who that Rasta and Hartman. I had intimate moments with and saw what they were going through, and I was embraced by them, just like never left Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just I thought, but they're so special and they have so much to say, and Bob was the one. He photographed great. He knew how to sing. And he had somebody who you could actually help to show the world his image, and so he was given an image, a look. a hook, the whole band,
Mm-hmm.
uh, in them taking their vows and growing their locks, it all helped.
Mm-hmm.
So um, the rest of they decided to take the cross and get, or rather, the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So use reggae music to actually speak on behalf of the Rastafarian people and the
Mm-hmm.
people or disenfranchised people throughout the world, really, because he's always not, later as he grew as an artist and accept the responsibility that he had taken on,
Mm-hmm.
he never stayed. Totally domestic with his lyrics. He would take it outside into a more universal way. And that's why his music is so universally embraced,
Mm-hmm.
because for people all over the world who identifies with what he's saying now that they have got the rhythm and now they listen to the actual lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bob Marley only left 10 albums, really. But his back catalogue was very big too. So
Mm-hmm.
I discover the people, young people discover more and more, and they love to go back to the very source. And so that's why I think that these footage was so important to document this. I had a friend in America who said he would make the documentary with me, but we couldn't get any funding. And so he said that I should use the video camera that was been loaned to me by a friend to document, start the blueprint
Mm-hmm.
of this documentary film would be. But then these footage were left in the Hope Road, at 56 Hope Road, while it was Island House.
Okay.
And the camera and the footage, everything disappeared. And
Okay.
my negatives later on that became the album covers for Catch a Fire and Burning, those also was basically kidnapped by the record company. Until recently, I got a letter after the company had been sold from the guy who sold it to say that he never owned my pictures, or neither did he ever pay me for it, or that he never returned my negatives. However,
Okay.
the film is about all that, and you see that all the work that went to make up what we created around the band, which is the Wailers, and where their music came from. Because in the inside sleeve of the Burning, you see Rasta children, you see Bongo Maki with his
Mm-hmm.
girl, you see downtown, you see the kids working, you see the record shop, and just some of the people who just influenced the way I thought at the time and why I would want to help to tell their story like that. And so the song like Burning and Looting came from a real incident that happened, and so that was documented and put into a song that the album is then named after. So that was some of the process that we went through. And with the lost footage, the term you wanted to know, the phrase was actually coined by a BBC World Service reporter called Ron Bola,
Mm-hmm.
originally I think is from Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
He came here to interview me, and once the thing was up on the net, because you had picture, you had the video, you had my voice, and plus you had the pictures of Bob and the trailer, and so they made a big thing of it, and it crashed into the Google Internet chart and was like number one for about a week on the news.
That's wonderful.
It
Oh,
got over a million hits in less than 18 hours, and South Africa picked it up. South America rather, Brazil picked it up. 100 million people, 150 million, they say, listen to my voice over the radio with the people translating, a man translating over me. So it was well received, and so people are waiting, waiting, waiting for the film.
mm-hmm. So that takes me now to in terms of accomplishment, publicity, marketing, screenings, viewing locations. It seems that you're working it. Where has the film been shown so far, and
Well,
what?